In 2006, I published this book, The Scope of Tolerance, and immediately after the publication, had a discussion with one of my colleagues who said that some chapters of the book are no longer relevant. And his claim was that they are no longer relevant because of the introduction of the internet. So it was very, very clear to me in 2006 at that time that my next big project is going to be the internet. The main thesis of this book is that we need to balance one against the other two very important values. One value is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is the raison d'etre of the internet. We must preserve and appreciate freedom of speech. You take away freedom of speech, there's no longer liberal democracy. However, this very important freedom has to be weighed and balanced against no less important value. And that important value is social democracy. My thesis is that we need to invoke social responsibility in all the agents, and it should be a unified effort of us as individuals, us ISPs business, us state, and us the international community. Together we are going to have a better future for our children. So I decided to focus my book on terrorism, the use of terrorists on the internet, how do terrorists use the internet, and how should we address this. The use of the internet by child pornography, and the use of the internet to spread racism, hatred, and bigotry. And these are the three main concerns at the starting point. As I said, I started the project back in 2006, 2007. In about 2010, it became clearer and clearer to me that I need to add another aspect that I didn't think of when I started the project, because it was not, in 2006, it was not that significant, and this is cyberbullying. So much of my research after the preliminary literature review is based on interview. I was able to interview about 30 people, very senior people in the high-tech industry, NGOs, human rights foundations, all of them are based in Washington, and very senior security officials who enabled me to understand how security agency, the FBI, is tackling these issues. Almost each and every chapter starts with a human story. And through that story, case study, real case study, nothing comes from my imagination. I explain the problem. So in chapter 4, cyberbullying, I start with the case of Megan Meyer, who was cyberbullied and then committed suicide. In chapter 5, I look at the issue of Kimber Gill, who went on a shooting spree, and that tells the story of British responsibility. In chapter 8, I speak about the Yahoo case in France, and through that I explain that the internet should respect the laws of the state, of the country, otherwise it's going to backfire at you as it backfired at Yahoo. And so on and so on. So there are different case studies that will make this book very accessible to everybody. I don't think there's been a single day since I published the book that there was no one global story in one place on earth that does not touch on issues pertaining to the internet. One day is going to be terrorism and the way the terrorists are using the internet. Another day it can be about child pornography. Now I should say very, very clearly, the internet is not the problem. The internet is a platform. The problem is us, people, who abuse the internet. So why am I writing this book? Because it's so timely, it's so important. It really touches each and every one of us. It's a book that everyone can read and take something out of it. It's a book that is going to stimulate your imagination, your thinking. And that's what I want. I want to have a debate. I want to have a rapport. I want people to think about this, and you don't have to agree with me, but at least understand the challenge, then try to devise for yourself, for your children, for your friends, some ways to deal with the problem.